Hello and welcome to Prep Eve, where we revolutionize how you prepare for IELTS. Today we'll be starting up with the last category or the third directive type, which is describe and explain. So that's going to be the agenda for today, problem solution kind of questions, and along with that we'll also be understanding the third parameter, which is lexical resources. Okay. So SK is asking for which section the challenge is being held, academic or general. It's for the both of them. So both of them would be covered here because the essay writing is the same for both general and academic. Hello everyone. Okay, so this is the agenda for today. This is our website, so you can go to our website and have a look for more information. A little about us. We started 3 years ago and we have catered to the needs of more than 35,000 students through our YouTube channel, catering to more than 30 plus countries across the globe. Apart from that, we've also helped more than 1,500 students through our one-to-one personalized guidance courses, which are conducted on any video conferencing platform such as Skype, Zoom, bottom, IMO, anything works here depending upon in which country you are. And needless to say, we have well-trained trainers and they know the inside out of the IELTS test and they're here to help you out. And on to your right is what I would want to see. I would want to see your faces on the right side of the slide when we take up the next module. So these are some of the successful students who cleared their IELTS test by taking training from us. So this is the agenda of the day. We'll be taking up lexical resources parameter. This is the third parameter. We have already dealt with task response, and in the last few sessions we have covered cohesion and coherence. So everything is done and dusted. We have completed two parameters already. I hope the ones who have watched those videos are clear about those two parameters. Today we are taking up the third one, which is lexical resources. Now this is the most favorite among all the students. Ma'am, how do we increase our vocabulary? Can you please provide a list of words that we can go through to score better in our lexical resources? So I have come across these questions so many times. So how do you guys prepare for lexical resources? Anybody who wants to tell me their strategy of preparing for this parameter? So everyone who keeps asking about the timings of the class, I would suggest you to click on the subscribe button, subscribe to our channel first of all, and then also click on the bell icon, so whenever we are having a live session or whenever any new video is uploaded, you will get a notification and you would not miss out on any video. Especially you would not miss out on the live. So the live is always between 7 to 7:30 depending upon the technicalities. So we try to keep it between 7 or 7:30 p.m. according to Indian time, and according to EST it's around 10 to 10:30 a.m. So how do we get 7 plus band in writing? By following whatever has been told to you in the previous lectures and whatever will be told to you in the following lectures. So these 15 days, whatever is being taught to you, you're supposed to imbibe that, understand it, and follow those, implement those rules in your writings, and you're assured to get a 7 band plus score in your writing. Okay, so this is the only way of scoring 7 plus band scores in your writing. Okay, Monica says that she writes an essay, then replaces the words with synonyms. after erasing them. Good strategy, that's a good strategy. That is one strategy even I recommend at times. But this strategy should be followed with proper care, because we do not want to kind of use the incorrect words or words that do not fit the context. So the context should always be correct. Okay. Alright, so let's move on to the band descriptors. These are taken from the official IELTS website. These are the band descriptors that your IELTS examiners follow while assessing you on the lexical resources parameter. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at the bare minimum. So what would you have to do if you score a 4 band? So what would have you done if you have scored a 4 band score? So you have used only basic vocabulary which may be used repetitively or which may be inappropriate for the task. Okay, so here basically if you're scoring 4 in your lexical resource parameter, it basically means that you have a very basic vocabulary, you're not showcasing variety or wide range of vocabulary. So this is your major mistake. Along with that, you also are using inappropriately. The words are being used inappropriately. Second thing is that you have limited control of word formation. You do not know how to form words, how to change the formation of the word from the core word, and or you make mistakes with the spellings. So you are writing incorrectly or you're misspelling words, and errors may cause strain for the reader, that your spellings are so incorrect that the reader would have to strain himself or herself to understand what you have written. So this is what happens if you are scoring a 4 band score in your lexical resources. So this is something that you should not be doing at all, and this is only accepted if you're a beginner and if it's the first or the second time that you're writing an essay. Now let's see what we need to do to get at least a 7 band score, which is a bare minimum requirement for us. So for a 7 band score uses a sufficient range of vocabulary. Range of vocabulary is there, but it's not wide, it's sufficient. ठीक है, okay? To allow some flexibility and precision. What do you mean by flexibility and precision? Flexibility is that how well you can modify and change the words, and precision basically means are the words precise from the context of the topic. So basically here you have to use topic specific vocabulary. So the second pointer here says uses less common lexical items with some awareness of style and collocation. So you use common lexical items, but the usage is not appropriate. You only use less common lexical items with some awareness of style and collocation, but you can still do better. Okay, may produce occasional errors in word choice. Your word choice might be incorrect. You should have written some other word and you've written some other word, so that creates some confusion in the mind of the reader, and then you have problems with your spellings and or your word formation. So yet again, this is what you have to do to get a bare minimum of 7 band score. What about the 9 band score? So we should be aiming for the 9 band score, only then we'll fall within this range of our target score. So uses a wide range of vocabulary with very natural and sophisticated control of lexical features. Rare minor errors occur only as slips. So if you notice carefully, it says uses wide range of vocabulary. What's the difference here? In 7 band score, it says sufficient range of vocabulary. ठीक vocabulary here. Okay. Whereas in this case, it says wide range of vocabulary. So you have a good hold over the vocabulary. You have a good word bank. Okay, with very natural and sophisticated control of lexical features. You're very flexible and the flow of your words is very natural. However, here also, even if you're scoring 9 band score, it does not mean that there are no errors, because we all are human beings. We are bound to make mistakes, and mistakes with regards to spellings are very common, and there could be some minor errors that occur only as slips. As slips means by mistake or by genuine silly mistakes. So here you can give the example of what we call as गलती से हो जाना या फिर by chance, right? Okay guys, so you are still telling about how to prepare better and how to increase your vocabulary. So I'll discuss that in detail, but for now, I just wanted to tell you two things. Number one, you should showcase wide range of vocabulary to get better scores in your lexical resource parameter. Number one. Number two is that you need to understand that minor errors are acceptable. Nobody is going to reduce your band scores if you are making minor mistakes, but those mistakes should be minor in the genuine sense. Okay, number three is that we have to use different words by using synonyms, and also we should be using topic specific vocabulary. Only then we can score in this range 7, 8 or 9 band scores. So I hope you guys are clear with this particular slide. This is from the official website of the IELTS test. So there should be no confusion. This is what they follow to score your writings. Okay, now how do we achieve better marks or better bands in our lexical resource parameter? So first of all, you need to have a wide range of vocabulary. Wide range of vocabulary basically means that you do not use same words again and again, or basically you use different words, and also this is done by avoiding repetition. So how do you use different words? How can we use different words? By using synonyms. Majorly, if you use synonyms, as Monica mentioned, that you can erase the words that are being repeated in your writing, and you can write another word later on at the end of the test. So that also suits, that kind of a strategy can also be followed. So this is the step one to increase your bands in the lexical resource parameter. What's the second thing that you have to follow? You have to use appropriate collocations. Now, what are collocations? Collocations are words and phrases that go together naturally and sound correct to the native speaker. So basically, these are two words, usually verb and noun, that go together hand in hand. Okay, and if you use some other verb with this noun, it will not sound correct. There would be some mistake, and that would make it incorrect usage of collocations. Okay, so what's the example of this? The most common one is that when will you take the test, take the IELTS test or any test. So take is the right verb here. A lot of students, what they say is, I am going to give my IELTS test or I gave my IELTS test. That is incorrect, okay? So you have to use the word take with test. So the example is, when will you take the IELTS test? Okay, it's never give the IELTS test or give any test. You don't give a test, you take it. Okay, so this is one of the examples of collocations. So with test, we use the word take. Next up is uncommon lexical resources should be used. What do you mean by less common or uncommon lexical resources? Now, there are certain words that we use on a daily basis that we repeat a lot throughout our day. So instead of using those words that are very common, we are supposed to be using words that are rarely used by us. Okay, so in that case, you have to use topic specific vocabulary. Now, here For example, the question is on science and technology, so you can use words which are related to that. If the question is on environment, then you can use words related to environment like pollution, surroundings, deforestation. So all of these things or all of these words are topic specific. Okay, if the topic is on food, then you can talk about cuisines, dishes, diet, nutritious. Depending upon obviously what the question is asking, you'll be using topic specific vocabulary. Last but not the least, you have to use correct spellings. Try not to misspell words. So this one is something that you have to take care of on your own. Nobody can help you with the spellings. The maximum someone can do is that they can point out your mistakes. They can tell you that this particular word has been misspelled by you. After that, it's your responsibility to learn that spelling and to remember it during the test. Okay, so this is what you have to do to achieve better bands in your lexical resources parameter. So any confusion so far in this slide? Okay, so I guess everybody is clear with this slide. We have to use wide range of vocabulary, and how we can do it by using synonyms. So if you notice, when we paraphrase the question while we are writing our introduction, we pick each and every word and we try to use its synonyms, right? So that is where we are implementing our wide range of vocabulary. So that's one way of doing it, and we have done it throughout the previous sessions. Second thing is appropriate collocations. Now you don't have to really learn collocations, but you need to know when you're using them correctly or incorrectly. Okay, so you can say it's raining heavily. You will not say it is raining big or it is raining large. That's incorrect. So that's another example of collocation. So you would not say it is raining big or it is raining large or it is raining uh, too much. You will say it is raining heavily. So the right usage with raining would be heavily. So raining heavily go hand in hand. However, if you use the other words that I mentioned earlier, that would be incorrect. So here similarly it would be take the test, not give the test. Okay. So appropriate collocations, these can be corrected only when we are sitting live with each other and the trainer is pinpointing your mistakes. I cannot really help you out in general about it. Topic specific vocabulary, yet again the same thing. So I have a couple of videos that I made a few months ago, and you can go watch those. So they are on topic specific vocabulary, and these are basically inculcated by one-to-one interaction. So I would suggest, if you want to go in detail, you can enroll into our courses. And correct spellings is the onus would lie on you. You have to correct your own spelling mistakes. Nobody can help you out in it. Okay, fine. So moving on with the directives, we have already completed choose a side. We have also completed view both sides yesterday. Now today we'll be starting with describe and explain type of directive. So quick recap: agree, disagree, to what extent do you agree, disagree, give your opinion. View both sides. We have advantage, disadvantage, advantage, disadvantage plus opinion. Discuss, discuss plus opinion. So these are the different kinds of questions that we have already discussed. So whoever has joined us today for the first time, please go back and watch all those videos for better understanding. Today we'll be starting with describe and explain, and the first subtype is problem solution question, and we'll be taking up that today. So this is today's question, and in the next two sessions we'll be discussing cause effect and direct questions. So this is the question of the day. Please read the question, try to understand it, and then start with paraphrasing it. So I'll just read out the question. It says the internet has transformed the way information is shared and consumed, but it has also created problems that did not exist before. What are the most serious problems associated with the internet and what solutions can you suggest? So this is your question. Now I'll quickly explain it to you. This sentence so far just is a statement. It's not asking you to do anything. It's a plain, simple statement or fact. It's saying that the internet has transformed the way information is shared and consumed, but it has also created problems that did not exist before. So the way of understanding your question is to read it 3 or 4 times, and when you're reading it for the fourth time you can translate the question into your mother tongue and then think about the answer to the question. Okay, a lot of people make this mistake that they read the question once and straight away rush to write the answer and start with the essay. So you should not be doing that. You should first give 3 to 5 minutes or even more in certain cases to understand the question, because understanding the question is one of the most important things. If you do not understand the question, you will end up deviating from the topic, which would anyway reduce your band score in the very first parameter which we discussed, which was the task response parameter. So we don't want to lose our band scores in any of the parameters because all 4 parameters hold equal weightage. Each one of them has 25% of weightage. So you should not be losing out on any one of them. So I'll quickly translate the question into Hindi. The इंटरनेट हैज़ ट्रांसफॉर्म द वे इंफॉर्मेशन इज शेयर्ड एंड कंज्यूम. इंटरनेट ने बदल दिया है इंफॉर्मेशन कैसे शेयर होती है और कैसे कंज्यूम होती है. बट इट हैज़ ऑल्सो क्रिएटेड, इतना ही नहीं बट उसने या फिर इंटरनेट की वजह से अब प्रॉब्लम्स भी आनी शुरू हो गई हैं जो पहले नहीं थी. सो इट्स ट्राइंग टू से कि पॉजिटिव भी है नेगेटिव भी है. नाउ द क्वेश्चन is the next sentence. What are the most serious problems associated with the internet and what solutions can you suggest? So इंटरनेट से रिलेटेड कौन कौन सी सीरियस प्रॉब्लम्स हैं वो लिखनी है हमने. along with that we also have to tell क्या क्या solutions हैं. Okay, so this is your actual question. So now I want you to tell me the paraphrased version or just type the paraphrased version of this question, and then we'll get started with the brainstorming. Piyush, the uncommon lexical resource basically means the words that are not commonly used. For example, photosynthesis is a word that you would use in case of a question that is related to plants. Okay, and also let's say cyber crimes or cyber security is a word you will use in case the question is related to internet. So this is what they're trying to say, that you will be using less common vocabulary which we do not use in our day-to-day life. So he'll see, you don't have to learn collocations, you just have to be sure about the mistakes. You cannot learn all the collocations, it is practically impossible. So when you're getting your answers evaluated and when you're taking the feedback on your writings, the trainer who is evaluating your essay and your letter would be in a position to tell you that these are the mistakes in your collocation. So they'll edit it on their own and you would not have to learn it from anywhere. Whatever changes they tell you during the feedback, you just have to follow it. Okay, any attempts on paraphrasing the question? The introduction has three sentences. Paraphrasing the question, the thesis statement, and the outline sentence. So, do you think we have to write the thesis statement in this question? Is it required? Okay, so this is interesting. Everybody, pay attention. I'm reading Pasham's paraphrased version. So she has written the increasing population led to urbanization and many metropolitan cities run through internet, which is useful for globalization, but on the other hand gave rise to different conflicts on the planet. Now, Pasham, I would just request you to read the question and tell me, is the question talking about increasing population? Is the question talking about urbanization? Is the question talking about globalization? And is the question talking about metropolitan cities? Are these four words, population, urbanization, metropolitan, and globalization, are these four words mentioned anywhere in your question? Please tell me the answer to this particular question. Is it mentioned anywhere? See, the first and the foremost rule of paraphrasing is that you should not add or subtract any information to the question. You should, as it is, tell the question in your own words. You should not change the meaning of the question. The meaning of the question should remain intact. All you have to do is use your own words or use different words to rephrase or paraphrase the question. Okay, that's it. Now here your paraphrasing is completely incorrect because you have added so much of more information that is not even given in the question. So if you do that, you will end up deviating from the topic, and I'm sure if you write the body paragraphs, they would not be related to the question, and you will get lesser band scores in your task response parameter. So I would suggest you to first of all read the question properly, translate it into your mother tongue, understand it, and then paraphrase it without changing the meaning of the question. I hope you're clear, Pashum. Okay, Rajveer, you're absolutely correct. There are you don't have to write any thesis statement. Perfectly fine. So Priyanka has written the method of sharing information is transformed by the World Wide Web, but it also raised new concerns. Okay, that's fine. There are a few grammatical errors. Apart from that, the paraphrasing is correct. Manpreet says, no doubt, technology play a paramount role in today's life as the way of sending and utilized information. So you can say sending and receiving instead of utilize. You can use the word receiving information has changed, even if it give a birth to, okay, even if it has given birth to complications, tribulations, or you can write problems or issues, concerns as compared to the past. So yeah, this is also fine. A few words need to be changed in your paraphrased version. However, otherwise, overall it's correct. Simran Walia, she says that the internet has changed the method in which information is shared and consumed, but also had and has, not had, had is past. So has a negative. So an is used not in front of consonants but in front of vowels, which is not before there, which was not there before. So your idea is fine, but the way you frame the sentence is incorrect, Simran. You'll have to work on that a little. Let's see what Piyush has to say. Piyush writes, it is generally observed that digitalization has, not have, has transformed beyond imagination of humans and With the upgrades, it has brought negative impacts too. The below essay will discuss more on the same. So, see, it's fine, like you've written transformed beyond imagination of humans, but here in the question, the major focus or the keyword is information, how the information is being shared. So, you need to focus on the information part, to not talk about the transformation is beyond the imagination of humans. Okay, so that's fine. So Monica has written World Wide Web has revolutionized the process of interchanging. Do not write interchanging. The better word would be exchanging. Exchanging information. However, several problems have been generated due to this, and you'll have to put a comma before however. There are certain reasons. Okay, can we use the word barrier instead of problems? Yeah, you can use barriers. Rajvi says the way of sharing and using the internet is changed, which leads to create new difficulties. This essay will discuss the problems and solutions for this issue, not for, in the upcoming paragraphs. Fine. So Mandeep says technology has altered and convenient the methodology of commuting information. So altered and convenient, they're supposed to be parallelism. Either you use altered or you use convenient. Meanwhile, multiple issues have come across in present as well, which are mentioned as following. So you're not talking about the solution. You have to also talk about the solution, Sumandeep. Richa says, although internet is indispensable, used. So see, yet again, it's grammatically incorrect. Although internet is indispensable and is used in the transmission of information, consumption is not required. Several issues are being noticed which were not there, were instead of is. So, see, I cannot correct all of the mistakes. I'm so sorry, guys. We don't have enough time, so I'm just moving ahead. Okay, so perfectly fine. We have paraphrased the question. What about the thesis statement? Do we have to write the thesis statement? Okay, there is supposed to be no thesis statement in this question because the question is just asking you to tell about the problems associated with internet, and along with that you have to tell the solutions. So here in this case we will not write any thesis statement. We'll straight away move to the outline sentence, which I guess each one of you knows how to write. So let's move ahead to the brainstorming part, which is my favorite part because I love when you guys think and interact with me and tell me different ideas. So, here is your question again. Quickly tell me the problems first. Read the question 2 3 times, understand the question. There's no hurry to tell me the ideas. First of all, think what the question is asking, then tell me the serious problems associated with the internet. All right, let's get started. So first of all, we'll be starting with the problems. Priyanka Sharma, we do not have to write any opinion in this question because let me show you the question again. It's not asking you about your opinion, it's simply asking you to give the problems followed by the solutions. Alright, so you don't have to give your opinion in this question. No, it does not need any thesis statement. Okay, so Rosie Reddy writes cybercrimes, online frauds, and scams. Very good point. So, good job, Rosie Reddy. So, cybercrimes, scams, frauds. All right. Anu says offensive content, offensive, inappropriate. All right. Amrit Pal, the way you have paraphrased the question is right. Good job. However, you'll have to write altered by the passage of time eventually, or you can say, however, it also has certain new problems or created certain new problems. Hacking, so hacking comes here itself under cybercrimes. Fake news, very good point, Prudhvi. In fact, I have also written this in my essay. Fake news. Good job. Hacking by hackers is done. Information may be fake. Yes, that's covered. Cybercrime, time consuming, health issues due to excessive use. So, see, now the question's keyword is basically how the information is consumed. So, it's not really talking about health, but you can cover it. But what I personally feel is that we should be focusing on the problems that are associated with how we share information. So when we share information, it can be hacked. We can be prone to scams, frauds, and all sorts of cyber crimes. So that is something that's related to how we communicate or how we share and consume information. So these points are correct. But if you talk about health, yes, it's one major disadvantage of prolonged usage of computers or internet. But that would be like my fourth or fifth priority. Before that, I'll cover up these things that are related to information. Fake news is also information, what you're consuming. So fake news is also that is really prevalent these days. And I guess you guys give the example of all the news that is being flooded on WhatsApp, especially. WhatsApp is now named WhatsApp University by a lot of youngsters who say that a lot of fake news has been forwarded by the previous generation, actually the generation of our parents and grandparents, and all sorts of remedies are told. Have ginger water and lemon water, I don't know what, and drink hot water. So these are the fake news that are kind of flooding around. And not only this is still on the funnier side. There are serious fake news being spread by people, and sometimes they also spread it without really knowing about it. So they're not spreading it deliberately, they're unaware of the fact that that particular piece of information or that particular news is fake. So you need to be very conscious, you need to be very cautious also while you're reading such news, so that you're aware whether it's accurate, whether it's real or fake. Sumandeep, yet again, those points are correct when it comes to automation or internet in general. But right now we are focusing on internet with regards to the information being transmitted. So these are the three major points when it comes to information. However, if you guys want to discuss more points which are not really related to this question, then you can talk about, let's say you can talk about health issues, physical health, mental health. Then you can also talk about, as you guys have written, yeah, privacy issues. Good job. So privacy can also come here, I guess. Or let's make it a separate point. ATM frauds. Okay, that's fine. Not spending time with family. Violent or sexual images. All right. So this would be here, inappropriate content according to age. So you can also mention age. So that's another way of writing it. So here you can give the example of children. Children might, get on such sites where they show inappropriate content, and it can impact their psychology for a longer period of time. Okay, good job, guys. Yes, Amritpal, fake news can be like, in 2012, the word would have been doomed, not diminished, doomed. Increasing crimes, so Anu, crimes come under cyber crimes itself. Okay, so health, distraction, uh, loneliness, withdrawal from society. So this could be not spending time with family. What else? Priyanka, yet again, let's focus on the question. The question is not talking about games. The question is talking about how information is shared and consumed. So for that, these 3 4 points are the best. The way information is shared and consumed, like for example, online transactions, or you can say online shopping. These can lead to cybercrimes such as scams, frauds, hacking of personal information or your credentials such as your username and password, your CVV that's there on the backside of your debit cards. So that thing is number one that would be impacting your information. Number two is information can be inappropriate or offensive according to the age bracket. So that could be sensitive content that should not be watched by children. Number three, the information that you're consuming or sharing. By sharing, we mean even if you forward articles from the Times of India or the Hindu, or maybe you're forwarding news from different channels, or you're just forwarding something from WhatsApp to your group in WhatsApp or to your family members, that could be fake news. So sometimes what we do, we don't even read it properly, we don't understand if the news is fake or real, and we keep on forwarding it, and that leads to a lot of misconceptions and confusions in the mind of the readers, and it also spreads a lot of and anxiety and a lot of stress among people. So right now with COVID-19, all sorts of rumors are there, and it is actually impacting the mental health of certain people who are prone to these kinds of activities. Last but not the least, your privacy. Basically, the information that you're sharing on social media websites such as Facebook, Instagram, or even on other like TikTok or whatever social media websites. Those apps can also leak your information. Now, this was a recent news, if you guys are aware of, that a lot of data has been shared by Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook to a lot of businesses, and they have shared that information about us to some other third party, and they are making use of our information to create products and to market their products, and also that is their strategy of making us spend a lot of money. So this is another example. So these 4 points that have been listed initially are the best points that you should be writing in this question. However, if the question is in general asking you to tell the problems associated with the internet, because you need to understand that the question is not just this part. Yes, here the question is saying serious problems associated with the internet, but they've given you a background. They're talking about information is shared and consumed. So you should be talking about or focusing mostly on how information is being shared and consumed, and what problems are associated with sharing of information or consuming of information. Alright, so this is what you have to talk about here. However, if the question was generic, then you could have mentioned about physical health issues, mental health issues, eyesight, and you can talk about gaming in case of children, and you can talk about other soft skills, and everything can be written here. But with regards to this question, these 4 points are the best. Alright, any doubts so far? Vivan says PUBG effect. PUBG effect is fine, but yet again, it is addiction. So you can write it if you want to, that's your choice, but these 4 are the major ones. Okay, so yes, Jaspreet, you can give the example of fake news by giving the example of COVID nowadays. Perfectly fine. So we are done with our brainstorming. Let's move on to writing the introduction. So you guys have already written the introduction. I'll just write it. So this is our question here. Okay. You can reread the question. Do not forget what the question is saying. Now let's start with the introduction. As you guys mentioned, you wanted me to write the introduction. Write the essay beforehand. So I've already written it. So this is going to be my introduction. So the advent of the internet, followed by its popularity, has modified the manner in which information is exchanged in recent times. However, it has also given birth to the issues that are relatively new. This essay will discuss the problems along with the measures that can be taken to mitigate them. So here, if you notice, this part is your paraphrased version. Now, the internet has transformed the way information is shared and consumed. So instead of writing shared and consumed, I've written the word exchanged, and I've added the recent times. Okay. So internet is one such word you do not have a synonym for, so it's okay, you can use it intelligently. You should be avoiding the usage of internet as much as possible. You use internet once, and after that you keep using the word it. Okay, keep using the word it to refer to internet. So that's how you can smartly avoid repeating words, and this is how you also showcase the ability of not repeating words and showcasing wide range of vocabulary. Okay, but it has also created problems that did not exist before. For this, I have written, however, it has also given birth to the issues that are relatively new, or basically that did not exist before. This is my outline sentence because I did not have to write any thesis statement here. The question is not asking about our opinion. So this essay will discuss the problems, because in one paragraph I'll be talking about the problems. Look at this. So we have to tell what are the most serious problems. So I've written this essay will discuss the problems. So problems, obviously you can use the synonyms here. So you can say negative consequences, impact, adverse effects. So I'll just write adverse effects. So this is how you can change. Now every time you might miss out on a word or two that has not been changed. So this is why proofreading is important. You should read your essay again and make changes. This essay will discuss its adverse effects along with the measures that can be taken to mitigate them. So measures is basically for solutions, adverse effects is for problems. So we have also covered this part under our introduction. Any questions so far with regards to the introduction? Is the introduction clear? Now here mitigate basically means reduce. Sunrise Mobile, can we use e-commerce instead of internet? No. E-commerce is basically just the online shopping part of internet. So e-commerce is how you're trading using internet, and that would not be the entire internet. So here we are talking about the umbrella term, which is internet, which incorporates social media websites, your news channels, or basically news websites, and also it includes your entertainment websites, your e-commerce, your shopping websites. Everything is included under internet. Yes, you can use the word web if you want to. So you can say here you can write World Wide Web. One of the students had also written that during the discussion. All right, let's move on to the body paragraph. So far this is the question. This is how you have to write your introduction. We are done with the introduction. This is your body paragraph. So two ideas in each body paragraph. So we'll write two problems in body paragraph 1, and we'll write two solutions of those problems in body paragraph 2. How do we do that? We would basically be writing the first body paragraph by starting with one introductory sentence about what that paragraph is going to talk about. So in case of the first paragraph, we'll start with the sentence that says that this paragraph will discuss about the problems. The second paragraph or the second body paragraph will start with the sentence that says that this paragraph will talk about the solutions. Then you have to give your first main idea, explain that idea, give an example or survey to support that idea if you have any. So one example should be written in every essay, one example and one survey. So that should be the bare minimum that you should be writing. And then you have to repeat the same thing for your second body paragraph, wherein you will give two solutions, and those would also follow the same strategy. Write the first main solution, then elaborate the solution, give an example, and then you write your second solution and give an example again if you can think of one. Okay, let's move on to the body paragraphs. So let's see what I have written for the problems. Okay, so this is my introductory line. Here you notice this is the introductory line, and this is what I have written. There are several negative consequences of using it. Here it refers to the internet. So firstly, now I am writing my first point. Firstly, personal information can become vulnerable to cyber crimes and frauds, which can impact the individual. I missed out on that. Which can impact the individual psychologically as well as financially. So the cyber crimes can not only lead to a lot of stress and anxiety, but it will also lead to loss of money, especially in case of crimes related to money. Okay, so now I've given you one point. I've given the explanation of that point here, and then now I'm giving one example. So for example, passwords can be hacked during online transactions and net banking through websites that are not secure. If you are doing some online transaction or some net banking from the website that does not have the proper credentials, or if it's not secure, then it will lead to leaking of your information, or the hackers can easily leak your information and use it for their own purposes. This is my first point. Secondly, confusion due to the spread of fake news is on the rise, as internet is accessible to everyone and information can be shared anytime, anywhere. So basically, yet again, this focuses on fake news. So what we're trying to say is confusion is created, or here you can also use the word confusion, anxiety, stress, or you can say tension is created in the atmosphere due to the spread of rumors or fake news, which are on the rise. क्यों rise पे हैं? Why are they increasing? Because everybody has internet and you keep sharing something or the other on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and on other such social media applications. So you can write that. Now I've left the space. I want you to write a survey or example. You can give the example of these social media applications that I mentioned. You can talk about Facebook, you can talk about WhatsApp, and you can give one example. So anybody who wants to give the example of this. Amrit Pal, vulnerable means prone. Basically, risk factor increases. So personal information can become vulnerable or can become prone to cyber crimes. Sohail, you can write one idea in one paragraph if you want to, but I recommend that you write at least two ideas so that you do not end up repeating yourself a lot, and you also get an opportunity to showcase wide range of vocabulary. If you write just one idea, what happens is you will keep dragging it for one paragraph, and if you keep stretching one idea for one paragraph, you'll end up repeating yourself, and you'll also be repeating the words that you're using. This will lead to lesser score in your lexical resource parameter. So to avoid that, I would suggest that you write at least two points in each body paragraph. It will also give a variety to the reader. Along with that, it will also give you this opportunity to write better words. So let's move on to the solutions now. We have already discussed the problems. Next up would be the solutions. I hope you will be able to manage the example or survey. If not, you can ask me, I'll help you out. Okay, so this is the transition here. In the last few sessions, we dealt with cohesion. So this is one of the cohesive devices. Now that we are moving from problems to solutions, we'll write the word however. However, these can be controlled by the collective efforts of the government and the citizens. So this is my generic sentence or my introductory sentence here for the second body paragraph. And then I write my first point, which would be the former should ensure cyber security and take. Now here former refers to government. Okay. So former should ensure cyber security and take strict actions against the fraudsters and defaulters. Okay, so basically we are saying that the rules and regulations should be put in place, and the authorities should arrest the people or imprison them, or basically give them a penalty if they indulge into such criminal activities online. So that's my first point, what the government can do. The second point, what the government can do is that additionally awareness campaigns must be initiated in order to make the users conscious of the prevalence of malicious activities in the virtual world. So some people do not know that there are certain criminal activities that are happening online. Okay, some people are unaware of this thing. That's the reason, if you notice these days, there are advertisements on the television about not sharing your PIN with anyone, ATM PIN with anyone, or your OTP with anyone. So they have taken up sports persons to propagate this particular awareness campaign. So this is basically the guidelines given by RBI, so Reserve Bank of India. So the Reserve Bank of India has spent a lot of money on awareness campaigns so that the people who are using credit cards, debit cards, online banking, net banking, or who are shopping online are aware of the fact that the CVV, the OTP, and also their net banking password are important, and that should not be shared with anyone. Especially it should not be shared online with anyone. Okay, because it could lead to malicious activities. Malicious basically means wrong. Okay. Moreover, now so far I was talking about what the government can do. Till here I was giving suggestions of what the government can do. Now I'm starting with what the citizens can do. Now here again, this is logical sequencing of ideas. This is how you maintain coherence. I could have given 1 point for government, 1 point for citizens, 1 point for government, 1 point of citizens. That would have been illogical, and that's how I would have reduced my score in the coherence parameter. So now to increase your score in coherence parameter, you have to basically logically sequence your ideas. Similar ideas should be clubbed together. So here similar ideas are about government, and after that I've written similar ideas about citizens, that what citizens can do. So moreover, the latter should follow. Latter refers to citizens, should follow the regulations imposed by the authorities. So जो भी बताया गया है authorities द्वारा, whatever the authorities have told, that should be followed. Number one, the rules and regulations must be followed, and they should be vigilant. They should be सतर्क जिसे कहते हैं. They should be aware, vigilant, and cautious. So you would use another word, cautious, while using sensitive information. Okay. So here, while using sensitive or while giving sensitive credentials online. In addition, genuine and authentic news should be filtered out before believing it or forwarding it to others. This is the second point that I'm giving for what individuals can do. So individuals should filter out information before they believe in it and before they forward it. Okay, any questions so far? Sammy, perfectly fine. You can give this example of fake news here. Good job. You can give the example of COVID-19. Okay. So I hope you guys know this. C would be capital here because it's a disease, and name of any disease, place, basically any noun, place, name, city, and disease or any course, everything would, the first letter would be capital. Thank you, Sahil. Very good, Anu. The fake news is COVID-19. The virus will die if you stand 5 hours under the sunlight. Okay. Monica says fake news related to COVID-19 has worsened the situation nowadays and has increased, not has increased the fear among people. Perfectly fine. Good job, Monica. Good job, Anu. Rupinder says, as these days wrong information is being shared about COVID-19, perfectly fine. Okay. Malicious activities, Amritpal, basically means notorious activities or the activities that are done from a wrong intention. Okay, that you have a wrong intention. So this is my second body paragraph. If you guys can see, this entire thing is my second body paragraph. So I'll just, yeah. Okay, so you guys have also mentioned something else. Let's quickly have a look. So Kapil says firewall softwares must be installed, use strong passwords. Okay, software developers. Okay, eye on fake news, perfectly fine. Setting a tight password, all right. Checking twice before providing contact details, perfectly fine. Limits on forwarded messages. Okay, now you guys have given very specific way of solving this problem. I have in fact divided the solution from two aspects. What can the government do and what can the citizens do? So the governments can do two things. You can write more, you can write less, you can just write one and explain it in detail with examples. That's your choice. Okay, so here, in fact, after talking about awareness campaigns, you can give the example of how RBI is digitally campaigning about usage of online transactions and how you can spend money online and how you should be safeguarding your passwords and everything. So that's your choice. You can insert one example here and you can just write 1 point for government and 1 point for citizens and just follow it up with one example or one example, one survey each. That's your choice. So here I have divided it between government and citizens, and that's how I've written it. You guys are giving one specific solution like firewall and etc. So that according to me is fine, but it's not necessary. So let's quickly move on to the conclusion. So this is the conclusion slide. Do not add any new information in your conclusion. No new ideas should be added in your conclusion. You should not restate your ideas. You should not write whatever you have already written. And what you should be doing is basically wind up the essay by keeping in mind the question. जो question में पूछा है उसको दिमाग में रखते हुए you have to paraphrase or basically wind up your question. Okay, so I've written this in conclusion. Even though this technological advancement is beneficial, yet it is accompanied by a set of fundamental concerns. Or here you can write problems, issues, complications, whatever you want to write. Nevertheless, these can be tackled with proper supervision by the government and the individuals, or you can put a full stop here itself. And if you want to extend it a little, you can do that. Okay, nevertheless, these can be tackled with proper supervision. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this is how you conclude. This is basically your entire essay, and I guess this is one of the easier essays because one paragraph goes for your problems, one paragraph goes for your solutions, so you don't really have to worry a lot. So if you guys want to have a look, and also like the video if you are satisfied with the content, if you're happy with whatever is being taught to you. And here yet again, you guys know about the connectors. I don't have to specify, I guess we discussed it in detail in yesterday's session. So firstly, secondly, these are connectors, and these are basically your connectors. And then however, moreover, nevertheless, in conclusion. Okay, so these all are your connectors. And when it comes to usage of good words, I guess here we have somewhere used vigilant and cautious. These are uncommon words. People don't really use these words. So these are the words you can use. Then, here instead of confusion, you can use better words like fear, anxiety, and all of that. Okay, cyber crimes is also some words that you don't commonly come across. Mitigate is one of them. Okay, so this is how you actually write good words. These are all synonyms: supervision and tackle, manage. So these are the words that you can use. Collective efforts is a good word here. So these are the words that you should be using: authentic, genuine, malicious. Okay, so credentials, not a lot of people would use credentials. Prevalence, okay, awareness campaign. So these are words that you can use and basically enrich or showcase your wide range of vocabulary. So certain words are basically improved by using synonyms, and certain words are topic specific, like vigilant, cautious. Cybercrimes is topic specific in case of this question. You cannot write cybercrimes in case of any other question if it's not related to the internet. Okay, so this is it. Accessible is also a good word. Instead of saying everybody uses internet or everybody has internet, we'll be using it's accessible to us. Okay, so this is how you basically improve your vocabulary, by changing words, by not repeating words unnecessarily, and also by adding words such as malicious, vigilant, credentials that are topic specific. So two things should be followed. One, you have to use synonyms so that you do not repeat words. Number two, you have to use topic specific vocabulary. Now fake news is another topic specific vocabulary. You will not be using it in other questions, right? It's specific to the question related to internet, especially when they're asking you about the information being shared and consumed. Okay, genuine, authentic, all of that. Okay, so this is your question. We have covered some of the connectors also. So let's move on. Any doubts? Yes, just breathe, you're right. No sunrise mobile, you cannot write it in the same paragraph. Instead of government, you can write governing bodies, and you can also use the word authorities. Okay, thank you so much, guys. That's it for today, and we'll see each other tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Do you guys want to take a break tomorrow and practice on your own? Okay, so I have come up with this new thing that the last two or three live sessions, I would be discussing your essays. So you can send in your essays. I'll pick one essay randomly for 3 days, and we'll be correcting that person's essay live during the session, because I want you to know your own mistakes by pinpointing what is going wrong in your essay and why you're not able to score a 7 band score. Okay, so this is what we'll be doing in the last 3 or 4 sessions of this 15 days live challenge. All right, and here for now, this is all about our one-to-one personalized guidance course. If you liked this session, you will love our personalized guidance course, because whatever goes into this live, it is 10 times better in your actual one-to-one classes, where there's just one student and one trainer and all the attention is given to you. And basically we have a very practical approach. Each session is a mock test in itself, and as soon as you enroll with us, we will be customizing the course according to your needs and demands. We do not have fixed number of sessions for each module. We modify it according to your needs and requirements, and also we would help you out in understanding where you lack and how you can strategize better and improve yourself in each and every module. So all you have to do is trust us, practice, take our feedback and improve upon it. That's it. And you would love the sessions. That's all I can say. We provide maximum flexibility and individual attention, and our teachers are super dedicated, and all of them are certified trainers and have scored a minimum of 8 band scores themselves. So you don't have to worry about anything. Just enroll into the course. And if you like this video, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Also click on the bell button so that you get notified for the next live session. And apart from that, like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.